Every day, 11 billion cigarette butts find their way into storm drains, rivers, and oceans. Most of us believe that butts are made of paper or cotton, but they are in fact made of thousands of plastic fiber strands. As the world's most littered item, they present a great environmental threat to our wildlife and oceans.
To put it into perspective, the amount of cigarette waste that's thrown out every single year could circle the globe 2,600 times or go to the moon and back 140 times. Cellulose acetate is what comprises today's cigarette filters. It's been in use for about 60 years plus. Most of the filters that get tossed out, they don't biodegrade, they actually degrade into microplastics and nanoplastics. Those plastics get eaten by fish, they end up in our food chain, so we end up eating the plastic that we discard.
Smoking used to be more accepted as a social habit and was a sign of status or even freedom. At that time, there was an infrastructure to collect the butts. In my parents' home, there was an ashtray, even though there was no smoker in my house.
In the early 2000s, the indoor smoking bans came into effect, so a lot of the smokers got pushed outdoors where there were no receptacles to throw out their cigarette waste.
When this happened, I do not believe that the consumers or the industry or even the regulators were aware of the unintended consequences. There is minimal or no infrastructure to collect the butt. The cigarette butt is the most littered single-use plastic in the world. We have 4 challenges in creating a truly biodegradable solution. The first one is the filtration. Cellulose acetate is a chemically modified fiber, well designed to do a good filtration, so the filter, which is biodegradable, has to do that job. The biodegradable solution has to also deliver the same sensorial experience to consumers. You don't want your food to change the taste and the flavor based on the plate. The smokers don't want to have their smokes changed based on the filter. The third and the fourth one are more commercial. One is scalability. They talk about 5 trillion plus cigarettes being produced globally. And the other one is cost. So our cost has to be compatible with the existing cost with cellulose acetate and plastic. The planet is aging. Humans are accelerating the aging process, and this can be irreversible if we do nothing. Marine environment research, they believe there will be more plastic than fish by 2050. Now it's time for people to be more committed, more accountability, more restricted laws. We need to move away from talking to action.
With over 10 years of research and development, Greenbutts naturally better filters are the sustainable alternative to single-use plastic filters we need. Using a revolutionary zero plastic, plant-based product with no synthetic materials and no plasticizers, Greenbutts 100% biodegradable filters dissolve in water within minutes, preventing plastic pollution from harming our oceans, wildlife, and planet.
The tobacco industry has been working for years now to come up with an alternative. We were trying to make it more biodegradable, but the end product was still something that was plasticized. Greenbutts is actually made from food-grade natural fibers. We're certified biodegradable. Let's say it ends up in the waterways. If it's immersed in water, after a few minutes, it completely goes away. It not only gets rid of the litter problem, but also the microplastics problem that gets into our food chain.
If you see the standards of the industry, 90% of the mass has to be lost during 2 years. Our product in our research demonstrates that we have 100% mass loss in 60 days. It delivers great sensorial attribute. The filtration is maintained throughout the smoking session. Visually it's different, and we believe the differentiation gives some cues for consumers to see its authenticity. In the end, it's sustainable. And by being sustainable, it's good for the planet and it's good for us.
We're not looking to be a disruptor to the tobacco industry. We want to work together with them to facilitate the transition to a natural product. When we started out, the industry wasn't really looking at the single-use plastics problem. Once the single-use plastic directive started coming into effect by the UN and the EU just a few years ago, that's when the ball really started rolling, and we just happened to be working on this for the past decade.
By proper education, communication, and awareness, we believe that the industry actually will drive the change. The regulators will enforce the change. The consumers will actually deliver the change, and Greenbutts will provide the means by which the change can occur.
When we started the company, we went for the most littered single-use plastic in the world. But then we started thinking we can actually change the filter industry as a whole. We've actually had quite a bit of success with oil filtration, air filtration. We can use it for dust masks, etc. We don't want to change people's behavior. We just want to make sure that that behavior doesn't impact the environment.
Visit our website today